नमः ॐ बुधाय नमः ॐ बुधाय नमः ॐ बुधाय नमः ॐ बुधाय नमः
Let's try this again. Hello, SPLs.
ॐ बुधाय
The sounds of the Mercury Buddha. Where are we?
ॐ
Horus Watch. Horror Watch. Too much chilling out has just led me to cast publicly this private cast. Tusk, tick, tick. How are we? What are we doing? I'll stay on for a half hour or so, see if anybody wants to interact, say what, chin chin. I saw somebody pop up. You've gone. I'm here for you. Interaction, feedback, updates, praise, grumble, officer agent interaction. Yes, we're unlisted. I've done it correctly. You can comment on the screen and involve in the chat here, or I will go to the .com and see what's going on. My volume button doesn't work. I need a new handset. I've been attacked too many times. She's on her way out. Right, there we go. So it is what, 10 to, I had a little issue there trying to get online. I have too much security. I did ask to, what's going on here? Everything's going wrong, even the headphones are not. Because of the case. Technology's trying, it really is at the minute. Right, I've muted myself. Trying times, these things are sent to test us. It took me a long time to go live, too much security. We're here now. All's well, the 10's well. In times of doubt and stress, man will just simply go to Horror Watch. Ah, you're quiet now, aren't you? Yes, you are.
ॐ बुधाय नमः
You're going to get annoyed with that. I might do some remixes of it. Incidentally, on the back of the Hangout with Santos, Josh, Charlie, me, and sisters, Patricia and Karen, phonics and language. We ought to really sing when we speak if what I'm finding is correct and what Josh is proposing and what we've seen. The language that we use now, common tongue, mother's tongue, common tongue and babble. It's interesting what we're finding out with these dialects and I don't know, publications of and comparisons to. I was listening to that mantra and how long it goes, and I could hear the rhythm and the flow of the evenness, even though I couldn't understand the Indian translation. You know, it just the sound, the phonics to me. I could put a metronome into that, and I could hear on one of them there was 6 words, but it was 4 beats. So as we speak, and our syllables and our dialect, our tone, somewhat to the writings, top to bottom, right to left, or right to left, and working line to line. It's very interesting. So DJ music, and then maths, geometry, which is very close to something else that I was thinking of the other day. It will all come into a nice comparison. So how are you? What you saying? Anything you want to update me with? Feedback, praise, grumble. I haven't really got a barrage for you. This is now a private cast on the .com, so I will looking for your comments. You are here to give me input, advice. I rang Alan. Wow, we say love and respect to that fam. If any of you saw my live cast earlier, I had a scribe come on. Solus had found his mum dead in the middle of the cast. He asked if I could speak to him. I was ringing him today anyway, but as it happened, he got to me first with that kind of a news. So I've rang him and had a chat. He's good to go, not good to go, but as good as you can be. And you walk in and find one of your family members, like your mum, slumped over, and I'll be careful with the details, but wow. Feelings go out to brother Al that come on the cast earlier on today's video. You'll see what is it? It's Home Invasions, Are They Warranted is the title. On today's update, I've been quite active of late, as you know. As one of the scribes said on the podcast, I get everywhere. No comments about that, please. But we are everywhere. It's very interesting. Right, so yeah, I'm going over to you. Let me see if the volume is working now. Haha. Happy days. Chat. Hogarth. I fixed me boiler. Dodgy boiler. He's had a dodgy boiler. I've had a good day. Yeah, productive. Very happy. Very energised. I'm trying to centralise the energy. A man with as much energy as me, if he manages it properly, you know, his potential is unlimited. I've spoke to Sweden when I say that, not the landmass, the motherland herself. Hello Sweden, come in Sweden. What? No, brother Anders from the .com has come on the cast earlier, the same one that Alan announced that he'd found his dead mum, the late mum that had passed away. Anders came on and said, hello Dave, Sweden wants to have a chat with you. We'd like to pay for you to come over for a weekend, see a small, select, amount of souls. Some of them are pilots, they're all private, in man of the womb, or children of the creator. So yeah, that's interesting. It's got some excellent potentials. Playing over to Sweden. I've met Anders already, and he's doing a lot of key integral work over there. What I'm finding out is that there's corruption ahoy in all of the arbitrary, administrative, non-de jure courts here, there, all over. I've just found out that Sweden don't have birth certificates. Bumshanker. What? No, I didn't know that. I said, well, if you've got X, Y, and Z, and they went, oh, we don't have certificates. I'm like, oh, what do you have? He says, we have data. A data transference to the tax office and that from the registry. Anybody that's got Securities Exchange Commission, what would we say, non-Commonwealth, then it would be, wouldn't it? I'm going to say Hague, but that's something different. Non-Commonwealth states that don't issue birth certificates for the land mass inhabitants thereof. I've not really encountered much of this, so this is a first. Andre and Sebastian was on. Sebastian's a pilot. He's level-headed. He's trusted. He flies a plane for commercial airline for a living, and he's got. This is between us because it's private. He's got a message come through from the control tower. He's told me, and then how many souls you got on board, Captain Sebastian? And he's like, I've got 150 people on. What? Over. And they said, no, you can't say that. And he's like, what can't I say? How many souls have you got on board, Sebastian? We'll ask you again. They're not people, and he's been trained, he remembered, he was told, for insurance purposes. Airlines can't carry live man's manifests or things that spirits do. A cargo passenger freight manifest for the commercial airlines carrying souls. Wow. So he's got into this because he's clicked and gone, actually, I see what you're saying, and he wants to know more. So it's a consortium, a mixed bunch. He said there might be more pilots interested, and to go over, say hello. They'd like to have an SPLs Pro Sweden trust and set their own trusts up and then put that into our trust, like a trust within a trust. So I said yes. They're interested in asset protection. They're interested in claim of life and doing the equivalent of going to the Chancery down on Fetter Lane, the Rolls building, Equity Administrative House there. I'm visiting, getting an appointment with a master with, or endeavouring to do so for non-civil activity and provisions for, other. So I've had a word with them. And Sebastian, and said there was possibilities I would imagine that Stockholm, being the capital of Sweden, is that right? Yes, and the court and the church there would be in the capital. It would be a crown, like we have land Anglo Mass, and then we have London City, the crown state, the first city to be built where the Romans set up their empire to come out with would have been El Babylondon. 1666 thereabouts, etc. And he followed and said, so it doesn't matter, we haven't got certificates, they're international. I says, no, because it's the same process of, we just need to look into it and see how your persons are managed internationally under the three covenants of civil, what is it now, I can't always remember the words, but the ICOR, human rights, covenants of human, civil, and 1948 one and the subsequent other ones, 3 of them in total that you use. So an excellent day to be contacted by somebody that I met initially at Wales. Wales was a bit of a wish-wash. I got snubbed. I was only interested in Andy, that's Gobsmack, and Field Marshall, so I called him in the beginning, and Abel Danger I called him. I didn't know what was what, who was who. Nobody really included that much. So we went, and I had a day there, and it was great. They seemed lovely. They'd all travelled a long way, and as you can see in this wish-wash, it's a bit confused with the book, and Andy and Gobsmack and Abel and all that fallout I had nothing to do with and was kept out the dark with. And I know brother Smithy wasn't happy about the ins and outs, so that is what it is. And then I just thought we'll watch and see. Very political, very agenda driven, Air Force cap, quite wary of it all. I know Andy had fun, and the feedback was good overall, and they seem to have done a really good thing. And I was very surprised that 50 or 80 man's spirit souls had travelled all that way, come to a digs in Wales, the Hand Hotel, alarm bells, yes, and so forth and so on. But looking on it now, it's nothing so nasty and political. It's the way that it is, how it's come out in the wash. But what's good to come out of that is that some good heads was met there. Not only did we have international travellers, but we had Anglo landmass travellers that are equally as important and respected and wanted and loved, and some excellent contacts were made from that. And Anders was one of those contacts from an international front, obviously Sweden, and the Stockholm syndrome is they've had enough of. Wow, I just had that flash before me. And contacts were made internationally, locally, so we're equally grateful for all, even though it's come out that Abel Danger Channel Field might be in the line for speaking out of turn. I think nothing massive. I just think it's been held to account for political innuendos as far as I can see. But I didn't really get anything genuinely excellent out of it. I don't know anyone that did, so to speak, after looking back. But as to what was proposed, and offered in the build-up to, so I know others did, and I know I wasn't there. I'm just saying, from my point of view, I had high hopes and expectations overall, and here we are, and we're building and moving on. So the future is uncertain. The road is a long, winding one. We're at the end of it on many fronts here. I'll go to your comments, which is nothing there. We got 3 watchers and 1 comment. I am aware of that. Okay, things have changed. This is not a secure cast. We are a private site, and I will release what I feel I need to release, and I manage it in accordance with the trust and principles that we've all agreed to and are under in our private statuses, standing and capacities. There's nothing but honour and integrity here, and if there isn't, then this is your time, chance and place to speak up and air any views or concerns, other than the forums, which are obviously global on here, accessible to all. You have email for me privately, and I'd like to let the Santos video settle in. He said he'd like to have a hangout, catch up. I do realise it was quite quiet on that cast, and there wasn't much of Santos in it, so for 2 hours and 40 odd minutes of listening, I believe you're owed some more minutes. And I did post any questions you want me to ask to Brother Santos, and get out there, or that you've got, then I'd pass them on to you, for you to him. And there wasn't much asked there, so I just passed him on general stuff from emails that I've had from you. And I've spoke to him privately about publications, works, what's going on. Can he come over to Indy, have a chat, and meet the scribes, and we have an interaction. I'm working on having him on live with the proposed new technology and video formats that we have. So leave it with me. I'm looking at Patreon, Discord, and other accounts this week, and I'll look at a new live casting software suite that we can incorporate for you to be here with us when we do such things as that in the future, because I miss you when you're not there. It's nice to be focused and just us and not the screen sometimes. If it's an important one, we could perhaps be private or do it like this and not go public and have Santos in and others to come. I wouldn't mind chatting to the Alaskan lady there, Anna of the Von Ritz, or Reitz, I think it's Ritz, I've heard it said, you're continental, and having her and others like that in for a chat and a cross examination or whatever you want to get benefit from, we would ensure that would be done. So there's a lot of potential for the private, and there's a lot of potential for the public. They both have their benefits, pros and cons, relationships, covenants, pacts, agreements, many and various that we have running simultaneously. There's a lot changing, and you must rely on yourself always. Rely upon others when you can, that's great, but ultimately in this journey of life you are born as a unit, solitary, all right, twins and triplets and so forth, but we come mostly alone, and we will leave mostly alone on our journey. We may have somebody with us, at the bedside nursing us, but when we go on that journey, you're generally alone as the way you come in. So being alone is not something I'm promoting. I'm just saying that it's not always necessary to go cap in hand and hand in hand. It's nice to have a family and a support unit, a mechanism that's healthy to have, definitely. I'd like you to view this place as like a library compared to going into a bustling Starbucks or McDonald's or Costa. This is more of a connoisseur's coffee research shop where it's kind of quieter. We do enjoy the quiet, the calm. Me especially, I'm going to learn this. And the public, they can come in if they want, but they have to agree to the terms and make a little stop and enter that way. So it's like a library where you'd come for quiet, completely different to the Facebooks and Twitters and Instagrams and the hustle and bustle of the algorithmic AI public chitter chatter that you get. So I do see and come in a lot online and check and doing work in the back, and I have a look at the front and see and watch the activity monitor, log, all of the security software we've got, check up on the updates, liaise with Greg, and I'm very proud of where we're going and who we are, what we've come to achieve and learn, what we've got under our belts. And this place, I often think, it's not very active, or there's only been so many, and then I think, well, no, that's what we want. We want somewhere private and calm and structured and methodical, without the boom of the music, the DJ and the microphone. We've got some classic beats playing, some Mozart or some Schubert, or something quite laid back and contemporary, whilst we're just easing off a bit and taking some time and thinking, collecting your thoughts. There's a lot we can do here, and in these chats and the feedback, the publications, the grading tools, the hangouts, the pathway to unbonding. If I can outline that to you in the private and give you, I'm not going to tell you all, but I'll give you all of the things, like when you want to appoint a master and an apprentice master, have that directive conversation, how you'd be best doing that, what methods and options are available, how long it takes, what telephone numbers and emails, what lanes and streets and tubes, and I want to give you the full shebang if we can, the full works. And if it doesn't, then we can say we've been there, we tried that. I invite you to go and check, but this is generally what you will find. You can't always rely on YouTube, you can't always rely on books, You can't rely on anybody but yourself. Again, this is no anybody aimed at in particular, but in life in general, these are the things you need. If you are relying on others, then why? Why are you? If you can't do anything or you're not sure, you should pick that slack bit up and find someone that can help you and then learn it and master it. I'm not saying that you should be on your own forever. What I mean is we often rely on others, institutions, government, the nanny state. You know, I'm suckling me lower, me spaniel's ear. Wow. But there you go. Together we're stronger. That is right. Families, common unities, all of that. But internal knowledge, strength, core, belief, toroidal, area of strength. And if you're lacking in that, that's not a criticism, because I'm lacking in areas and overflowing in others. So we all have that work to do. Trust technology, asset protection, layman's walkthrough, equity guide, all of these terminologies, instruments, deeds, layouts and whatnot are being polished off now. Further publications are ready. No rush. There's a lot happening, in case you haven't noticed, all at once. The time of the season, focusing on the theme for the next at least 6 weeks, maybe 12. Home invasions, are they warranted? And see what go on. What do you say? Looking at A for V with what comes back from the agent on behalf of CEO. All right, Hogarth, casting spells and accepted for value isn't something I've got under my belt. I have known of others and heard successes and heard of genuinely trusted clans, tribes and family members. I am a little bit miffed that if we have this combatant, militant, are we still at war, recuser situation, and you wouldn't normally be allowed to control credit and discharge in such a way because you are considered, and these aren't my words, I use them carefully, we're at ease soldiers, but you are considered debtor, liable, person, etc., assumptions and presumptions. Then when we speak up and go, correction, under equitable means, realms, and the law itself would argue that dissolving of trusts and correcting and that's what they don't. This is where the litigation, the mitigation starts to happen, and addressing, appointing of CEO, passing on stuff to complaints departments instead of, it doesn't even get to the CEO. Somebody intersects it, they've become a trustee in that, and such other things as. So predicaments, precarious. If they're not authorised and required, you've got postal union rules. If you don't put the references of the postal special delivery from the outside of the envelope onto the subsequent letter and leave a space for that, and make sure that you record all of this, universal postal rules there being tampered with, that's a crime in itself. Opening and messing with another's mail, and then somebody else stepping in that isn't authorised to, may not be appointed, again is another folly. And if you keep a record of everything and you do what you say you do, and promissory notes and whatnot are passed and they're kept, and it's just insane madness. Even the endorsement of the credit bank gyro BGC that they put down there, there's a joint gyro credit and there's a bank gyro credit, isn't there? I believe it's the bank gyro credit, the one that's come with the credit for endorsement with the text on the back at a 45-degree angle with a certain amount on. I've got all of the literature, Richard Ansar's gold top pack, but I've not passed that to practicality yet. I'm just focusing on the other things, and I'll leave it at that. But my notices have as their letters show. My notices have as their letters show. My notices have. All right, yeah, I've got you. Yeah. All right. Any more? What else you want to chat about, fam, brother? There are 4 watching. It says between 4 and 5. Just dropped 3. Those will be the onlookers, I imagine. I can imagine who they would be. Why wouldn't you want to say hello? Why wouldn't ya? just want to check something. IP site traffic activity on the .com, because this is a thing you don't get with Facebook. Management of the back doors, access, etc. Because I'm interested how 5 people are getting the link, you see, and then only 1 is chatting. So what we do is we go to the back end of the website and look at the options I have. It's not spying, it's just a curiosity. And now we have the means to control our domains and access and check and see and manage, and you know, I'd like you all to say hello. You don't have to, you're not forced to. It's a private cast, but when I say private, it's not secure, as you know, nothing is in this realm, as much as we'd love it to be. As much as we'd love it to be. I see. I'm not going to say anything because it's private. I'll keep it to myself. But now we have activity log. Now it's answered some of my questions. Alright, activity up to 42 minutes ago when I popped in and said hello, we're going live. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different members. 5, look, that's right, matches the number. I'm happy with that. Why aren't you saying hello, fam? I upset you. Oh, Garth, it's all on you. I've finished. Every Sunday, 9:30, you can come in this, you can arrive in my forum and find your link. Maybe it'll be 9:45, it depends on Princess Yanka, Queen Anna Maria. Generally, I will endeavour to get to you for 9:30 GMT, and we have a chat, we have a catch up. If I've got updates, I'll bring them to you. If you're not happy, if we're doing, you'd let me know. If you're happy, you'd also let me know. Notice how we go for the negatives first. One day we'll live in a realm where it's just normal and not upside down. If you've got information, feedback from the key competent, anything like that, then you'd let us know the grading tools, etc. And we just use this as a private base. But remember, members can come in, take the video, download it and take it and rip it and share it. Anybody caught abusing our trust and policy, I do urge you all to frequent yourself with the T's and C's, terms and conditions and privacy policy. We're operating under law here, not legal, and it's totally different to what you're used to. So if we do find or get word of evidences and claims of abuse of our trust, then it's dealt with accordingly. Trust, as I've told you, is man's one and only true currency, and there are quite a lot of trusts across the board. So you may have your opinion of trust, we have our opinion of trust, and if we differ on that, now would be a time to speak up and to have everything open in this family of ours. But I have tried to create something with disclosure, honour and clean hands, and what happens is we get the same old carry on as what we do elsewhere. So all is good, all is well, okay, and I thank you for your love and time, especially to Hogarth. Message retracted, what's going on? Have you said something you shouldn't, brother? And yeah, I'm full of delight, calmness, happiness, prosperity, energised after interacting with Josh, Charlie, sisters Patricia, Karen, brother Santos. What's coming out of that, potential for hydrogen, the technologies that we have, the asset protection, and like I say, this pack that I'm working on with the Layman's Guide to Trust, with your last will and testament and revocable living trust. It doesn't asset protect. That's right, Facebook, you got it right. I know that. And asset protecting private private trust deed will be included as well. So the last will and testament, self-explanatory. I'd urge you to consider looking at one of those, not necessarily from us, as soon as possible. You can get them online for 20 sheets. You could look at What else did I say? Yeah, why you'd have a revocable and non-revocable trust. Look in the forums and frequent yourself with the terminology and the functionality, the levels of protection, types of trust, and yes, the private trust deed is also in addition, which was irrevocable. The living trust would be revocable, and then your last will and testament would be irrevocable too. So, two irrevocable, one revocable, and yes, a lot of pages as to history, why, who, what, duties, obligations, etc., and explanatory stuff. So I've kept it short and sweet for you, concise, because that's another thing that the whole world can use. The whole realm has this, as is brought to you by others and subsequent, comparable private equity firms that are in operation now with capital gains and asset management. Shh. Monkey see, monkey do. That knows. And my monkey brain has now started to take shape. Thank goodness. Oh God. A purple shade of blue says, yes, that's good for the strong. A purple shade of blue. Yes. Bosh, I like that. I get you. I get that. So, happy days. All right. Happy days. The end of the road. This is the last year. Each year we get bigger and bigger. Things get bigger and bigger, better and better. Synchronicities increase. It's like a toroidal magnetic, a flow there. What Santos is going to come out with and looking at doing with regards to technology and magnetism in itself, the fundamentals of that, I'm very excited about. Into his Tauruses, red and blue lights there, hyperbolic, hyperborea. Oh wow, it's going to go deep again. Into the realms of, if you've ever seen a star in a jar, wow, natural laws these are. I know they're not so much like trusts and, assets and whatnot, but fantastic where we're about to go. A new level, a new language, a new science, new tools, new protection, new family, new options, new perspectives. New ages. I personally would say 2025 is the time. I reckon there's a good 5 years yet before we go past any kind of point of no return, as such, with regards to geothermal pollutants, if you may humour me. But we shall see. Calendars, Mayan calendar. That big one with the stone circles and the one that they use a lot, that they say, oh, it's the 2012 calendar and etc. Turns out that's Aztec. What? Yes, not even Mayan. Mayan calendar, for instance, how they worked out, we are one with the universe, we are atom, all is mind, the universe is mental, Hermes, Thoth, etc. They worked out we have 5, 10, 15, 20 digits here, and they times that by, I don't know, 13, and they come up with like 265, and they ended up having a calendar with 13 months with, so I don't know how many days now, and working it all out. And it was like, calendar wise, they also did this. They said that in the body you have joint wise, 1, 2, 3 there, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They said 13 major joints. Perhaps they didn't count the wrist. Go do the research. 13 times, again, some number, 20 digits. And I was like, hang on a minute, this is incredible. That's where the 12, it wasn't, it was 265 times 20, 10, 265. Yeah, and then you get your days of the year calendar, etc. And the Mayans didn't need to find any external influence for them, and astrotheological. This didn't come from Santos, this one. This is from a book that I was reading, where some bloke's been and done some research a long time ago, 40 odd years ago, maybe 60 years ago, and what he found, the mathematics and the coding is equivalent, comparable to Sumer and that era and before. The antiquities, in them eras there, pre-Christian antiquities, and it was interesting to find the mathematics and the Mayan concept of everything's within. We look within to find the answers that we seek was the point of the author. I was like, oh wow, Okay, and they worked on, if you look at the Mayan calendar with the big wheel there, and then the circle, mini middle circle with the tiny circle in, and how that operates, and it's very, very concise, very nice. Um, that'll come from red and blue and purple there with the calendars and whatnot linking on, but I'm gibbering, and we're all good. We're in a good place. I'm quite tired. I'm gonna go and relax. I might ring Matthew in Sheffield, check on him and Tez, see what go on. And I will keep you all updated through my news feed, the forum, private casts as and when, indie casts as and when, updates via the usual places. All right, fam. And Santos has said some inspiring things for the future in the private to me, so I'm going to keep them to my chest at the minute, because, and then I'll release them once I've had things confirmed. And if I do end up going to see the fam in Sweden, then of course I will go live and include you in that, and we'll have a little casting with the fam and an update. So stand by. Anyone else in any of the continents want to say anything, then I'd love to hear from you. Let's go and get purple, Hogarth. Love to you on the replay. Okay, thank you to the 5 that have watched and to the 1 that have spoken. Bosh. Ciao, bello.